And boys, we are back here with another college football video. Today, I want to update my favorite ability setups in college football 25. Before we get into today's video, I do want to talk about our sponsor real quick, MMOEXP.com. If you guys want an alternative to buying packs, consider buying coins at MMOEXP and make sure to use code DILLA at checkout for 5% off your order. Now, today we actually have a lot to talk about because you have so many options of what you potentially want to do, right? I do want to start out at quarterback right here, where we can go over like an overall base setup. We also today are in the lineup builder compared to just being in like regular ultimate team showing off each card, because I feel like it's easier to get an idea like this. And the first card we got to talk about is Demon Williams. This is probably a lot of people's favorite quarterback in the game, and I feel like on your quarterback you're really going to want that extender ability, and this card does get it on the platinum level. Now that extender ability is going to be 2 of your AP. On top of that, I would recommend the Magician ability. We have talked about Magician a ton. That boosts your standard movement in pocket. I also recommend the Workhorse ability, and really that's all I think you really need as a base. So like 5 AP on the quarterback. Now some other things you could run on your quarterback, I think the off platform, if you're rolling out a ton, makes a ton of sense. This card also gets that platinum. Secondly, as well, the dot ability, if you're on the placement setting, makes a ton of sense. If you're on placement and accuracy, don't run it, doesn't do anything. I think step up and also pull down makes some sense here, as some 1 AP abilities as well. So yeah, that's really everything that I would really recommend to run on the quarterback. But someone that I think is right there with Demon Williams is literally like all the legend QBs, where you have someone like Patrick Mahomes, you have like Daniel Jones, Ryan Leaf, and we can just use Mahomes as an example. The reason why I think you could run Mahomes over Demon Williams is the fact that he gets that gold workhorse, right? So I don't hate that take at all. You can definitely run Mahomes over Demon Williams. I think either Demon Williams or like the legend QB is the best from an ability standpoint. And for me, at a bare minimum, I'm spending 5 AP on my quarterback. Now going to running back right here, I think the 2 best in the game are Derrick Henry and Emmitt Smith because of their abilities. And an honorable mention as well that I do want to mention is also Isaac Brown, that gets that 360 platinum. Really nice ability. But today we're going to talk about the legends, where we can use either Emmitt Smith or Derrick Henry. And I think the things you can run on your running back that are good, I think Workhorse on gold, obviously fantastic. You can run Workhorse on literally any position. I think the shifty gold as well, insane, really great. I think 360 gold as well. Those would be my big 3 that I'm really recommending. Besides that, I don't really think you need anything. And a running back spot where I don't think you need to run abilities, right? For me, I don't run running back abilities. I spend like 6 AP on my quarterback because I am on that placement setting, so I use that dot ability. But I did just want to mention like the 360, the gold shifty as well. Now moving to receiver right here, at wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2, I think bare minimum at wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2, you're going to want 2 gold takeoff players, where that can be Keenan Allen and also Corey Coleman. These are the 2 cheapest gold takeoffs in the game right now, and that's going to be 3 AP each on these guys. This is more for a pass heavy attack, of course. Like if you guys are a little bit more like run happy, you're definitely going to want like the shifty and that type of abilities on your running back, and maybe a little bit less quarterback abilities as well. But if you're passing the ball, I think these 2 gold takeoffs are great right here. Wide receiver 3, I don't think, this is like a slot receiver, by the way. I don't think you need gold takeoff. I don't think you need it. And for me, I just rock gold cutter right here. And in my offense, normal YF close that I've been running, I've noticed a ton of routes that light up in that slot with the gold cutter. And for a while, I was a believer that cutter really didn't do anything, but you just really have to like go into like practice mode and see what cutter lights up on for your specific like routes in your offense. And this can literally be any receiver you want right here. Like we can use Dante Thorin, who's a beast. We can use Nick Nash. Like this is a spot where you can use anyone you want. You can use CeeDee Lamb, the Coldest Crawford, like all like the season 5 guys get the gold cutter. So that's what I run on my offense right there. That's my ability setup. 6 AP on the quarterback, 2 gold takeoffs, gold cutter. Now, I do want to talk about overview though, like this game as a whole, abilities that I like that I personally am not running, but I understand why you would. And I want to go back to receivers right here. I think the second best receiver ability in the game behind takeoff is Sure Hands. Sure Hands is pretty crazy, and I can even see the justification if you want to say Sure Hands over takeoff. I personally wouldn't say that, but I understand why you would. Sure Hands is really good. Like, I mean, the contested catches you get from that, normal things that you're used to getting the ball knocked out with, Sure Hands just catches like everything. It's honestly, if you play up against Sure Hands, it's one of the most annoying abilities to play up against, because you're like, how is that not knocked out? I literally hit stick them, but he still caught the ball. I think it's really good on receivers with high catch and traffic, and also big body receivers. So I think like a team full of Sure Hands too makes sense. You can definitely do that. Really, besides that, I mean, like tight end wise, pretty similar to receiver minus takeoff. I think cutter, Sure Hands are also underrated ability on the tight end is that jackpot ability. I think jackpot is also nice for 1 AP. Me personally can't fit that AP in, but I did want to talk about it, of course, because I think it is a good ability. Now, going to offensive line right here, I think there are some good things to run. There's really 2 abilities that I really want to highlight, and the first one, of course, is going to be strong grip. And strong grip, like target like the legend players, they'll get the highest tier of these like abilities. Strong grip is just really good in the run game. game. Like if you are a heavy runner, I think loading up your running back, loading up strong grips makes a ton of sense. High run block receivers, high run block tight ends. I think that will fit that play style really, really well. And I do want to mention as well, since we're talking about play style things as well, option king, of course, on the quarterback. If you are running heavy, like triple option type of schemes, run one of the legend quarterbacks with that gold option king. Makes a ton of sense there too. I didn't want to skip over that. But going back to offensive line right here, we talked about strong grip. Again, I think that's really good in the run. Just kind of holds those defenders, like makes them not like laterally shed. And what that means is like as they're blocking, like a lot of times you'll hit the edge and then someone just sheds you, right? That won't really happen as frequently with strong grip. So really do like that. And then in the pass game as well, what are you guys playing right now on the defense side of the ball that we're going to talk about? Of course, the gold quick jump. A good way to counter the gold quick jump is that gold quick drop as well. And again, target the legend players. They do get that. Another way to counter the quick jump, of course, is play action. But I know like not every offense has a great play action play. So again, you guys can just go ahead and run that quick drop ability on as many offensive linemen as you can. And yeah, that's really everything that I recommend on the offensive side of the ball. For me, I feel like it's been the same for a while. I think sure hands is I'm starting to become more of a believer in sure hands, of course. But yeah, it's really everything I want to cover on the offense side of the ball. Offensive line abilities, again, for me, strong grip, quick drop. But I was thinking about talking the ability that fatigues the defensive lineman, but I would rather run those two abilities or like some receiver abilities or quarterback abilities or tight end abilities, of course. But yeah, so just an overview again for my personal setup. If you guys want to do what I'm doing, I rock the extender, magician, dot ability, and also workhorse on my quarterback. Running back, I don't run abilities. Receiver, I run a gold takeoff on my two outside receivers. And then in the slot, I run a gold cutter. So yeah, that's my setup right there. Let's go to the defense side of the ball. You have so many questions to answer on defense because man, defensive abilities are a mess right now. There are so many options, like so much to do with play style. I honestly think defensive abilities aren't as good as offensive abilities. I think offensive abilities are kind of a little bit crazy. Defensive ones just kind of just boost your regular defense, if that makes sense. Like offensive abilities, like they take schemes to the next level. And what I mean by that is it's like, okay, do you want to boost in zone coverage? Do you want to catch your interceptions? Do you want to tackle the quarterback? Do you want to boost in pass rush? Or do you want to run like great man coverage as well? Because man, oh man, a lot of abilities to cover on defense. So we're going to get it started right here where I'm going to cover the dumbest one first. And the dumbest defense I think you can play is using these legend cards right here. And we'll just use Malik Jefferson as an example. And Malik Jefferson, and let's go like Greg Rousseau right here. It really like you can use like multiple different people, just two legend defenders right here that are pass rushers that are fast. And this defense right here is really like the most brain dead one. And this is running 2 gold quick jumps and 2 gold aftershocks. Okay, so pretty much what you're doing with this defense, 8 AP on 2 players, 16 AP total. And the goal of this defense is hit the quarterback, right? You hit the quarterback, you win the play, you make them lose throw power. That's what you're trying to do, right? Gold aftershock, gold quick jump. That's a setup right there. Pinch back 0 out of 3-4 odd or the 5-2 formation. A lot of people run that as well. Now there is some like subsection type of stuff too, where it's like, okay, you can run a gold aftershock quick jump looper. You can run quick jump on the looper. There's like little things you can take from like main setups and make them like combo setups, if that makes sense. I just want to cover the main setups and the main abilities today because then we'll be recording for hours. And yeah, this is like, again, the easiest thing to run. Now, on top of that, what else can you do? You can run a defense with 4 gold quick jumps. And again, we're just going to use legend players as an example because they get the gold quick jump. You can go any gold quick jump player you want, and it doesn't have to be natural position either, of course. Like we can just use Van Den Bosch, Greg Rousseau, Malik Jefferson, so on like this, right? This right here is all out quick jump defense where you're running, guess what? You're running 4 quick jump players, right? That's the entire goal of this defense. Literally, if they run play action, you're kind of cooked. It's why I personally don't like this defense, but I know some people do like it because not everyone does have a play action play. And if you make them run play action, you kind of win the play, right? I get it. And on top of this, you can even fit in another gold quick jump. Like if you want to run 3-3-5 Cub or like 3-3-5, like whatever, you can run 5 quick jumps if you want to. You can run 3 quick jumps, just quick jump defensive lineman. It deserves to be mentioned. I don't run it. I understand why people would. And again, like at the same time too, you can run 3 quick jump defensive linemen, and then we can move Malik Jefferson like back to here, and you can run 3 quick jumps and then a quick jump looper as well if you're in a loop style of pressure, like 3-3 min, 3-2-6, 3-3 stack has a good loop as well to cover 6 Willie. So yeah, these are all things that you could do. A lot of it again is scheme based, and a lot of this is to make blitzes better. So wanted to mention quick jump, of course. And since we're on the topic of like pressure, I think a new ability that we really need to talk about too, of course, is takedown. Takedown is somewhat of a counter first extender, and you can run it I get why you would. I think it's really good in loop style pressures, again, like 3-3 man. The defenses I just named, where you consistently are going to have one player come in free versus a quarterback if they do not set up their protection correctly. I think that's where that is really, really good. You can just run takedown on your defensive lineman as well. Again, just trying to tackle the quarterback so they can stop breaking sacks. I get that. I think takedown is an ability that has really gotten better as extender has gotten better, of course. Okay, so I think we covered pass rush. I think we covered like the blitz side of things, the aftershock. Now, besides that, I think you have potentially 4 different options in the secondary too. Again, a lot of options today. Now, first question we got to answer. Do you want to run man or zone? Okay. And you can say you want to run both. If you want to run both, we'll talk about that last. Okay. You want to run man coverage. You have 2 options. Jammer, blanket coverage. I've gone back and forth. I've like, it's tough because the platinum jammer is pretty good. The blanket coverage is also pretty good as well. Like if you just want to go like all out, like platinum, like Jermon McCoy, like I get it. I totally do. And also I think what's kind of nasty too is you can use left outside linebacker, check fall as well, and user press people. Pretty nasty what you could do with that jammer setup. And I get why you would. This is kind of similar to the aftershock defense, but you were just getting in receivers' faces, just pressing them, running the routes for them. I get why you would run it. At the same time too, we can talk about the same corners where blanket coverage, it's kind of like receivers aren't really winning consistently on cuts. It can bag zig routes. It can bag corners that usually get open. It can bag, like, it's an inconsistent style of defense, but overall, on average, I could say versus a bad player, again, stops like every drive. Versus a good player, you will get a couple of stops because, again, man coverage is slightly random at times. There are certain routes that are guaranteed man beaters, but also at the same time, your protection has to hold up. And also, of course, your receivers can't run into people. They like need to consistently get open as well, which is kind of at times a little bit random, right? I think if you played all out man, there's times where it does feel like every route is just glued. So yeah, wanted to talk about man coverage. I get why you would. I think if you're running man coverage, it's the aftershock quick jump setup or jammer or blanket coverage. And if I had to choose one, I think quick jump aftershock is overall the best. But also if you're not a believer in that, I'd probably go the blanket coverage and then finally the jammer. But I understand why you would run the jammer, of course. Now, if you want to run zone, obviously we're going ballhawks, right? And ballhawks, you want legend players that get the gold ballhawk like Snead, you want Woolen, you want Justin Simmons, and besides that, really, again, it's not really like a player specific thing. Like we could play Devin McCourty right here at free safety, right? Like we could. So yeah, literally 4 gold ballhawks makes a ton of sense. I think this is a great setup as well. And really ballhawk is just gonna boost your zone coverage slightly. I really like ballhawk versus RPOs as well. I feel like they get really good in the red zone and RPOs specifically. I think some of these like over the middle throws and like sideline throws, not always noticeable, but again, I really like them versus RPOs and kind of like, you know, like red zone situations. So yeah, ballhawks I think are really, really good as well. And really besides that, I feel like the last thing that I want to talk about that I think is a really good setup, of course, is the house calls. And we got a couple platinum house calls, man. Like we have potentially Tyler Nubin. There's a lot of the fraternity cards that do get it. And also as well as Xavier Watts also gets that platinum house call as well. So you can play like a bunch of safeties right here. Really gonna try to get 4. And if you can't get 4, then just go down to the gold level. Like again, like Snead, Woolen, all these cards do get that gold house call as well. And with this defense, you can run man, you can run zone. If you're a decent defensive player, your opponent at some point in the game is probably gonna throw it at you. This defense is saying when they throw at you, we're going to catch that mistake, okay? That's what you're embracing with this defense. And yeah, I do like the house call style of defense as well. Again, you could play Xavier Watts right here. You can play another platinum house call right here as well. But yeah, I understand why you'd run this. And for me, like I get questions, house call versus ballhawk. I get questions about defensive abilities a ton. I'll be honest with you. I really don't know which one's the best for you. It's just something like it really comes down to your philosophy on defense, right? It's like, what do you want to stop the offense from doing? Because it's like a give and take with defense. With offense, you can get a little bit of everything. Defense is like, do you want to play a little bit better zone? Do you want to catch your interceptions a little bit more consistently? Do you want to get more pressure? Do you want to tackle the quarterback, right? Which in a dream world, you would have all those, right? But again, it's a give and take with defense. Another thing I do want to mention as well that I know some people like is that robber ability. Robber is just something... like I like it, and I think it's really good with the switch stick, and it's really good as your user as well. It's something that I could see you running. It's just not in my recommended right now, but yeah, boys, this has been my updated thoughts on the best defensive setups. And again, for me right now, what I'm running, I'm kind of running a hybrid setup of 2 setups we covered. I'm running Malik Jefferson right now with a quick jump and aftershock as my looper, and I'm running 2 gold ball hawks with Sneed and also Tariq Woolen. So that's my setup right now. You have a lot of customization that you could do to really fit your scheme, and again, I just wanted to give you guys some of my favorite options and update my thoughts on abilities in this game. And I hope you guys did enjoy it today, man. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more college football ultimate team content just like this. Now, if you guys do want to go and see me use these cards live on stream, have been streaming both YouTube and Twitch. To watch on YouTube, make sure to hit that noti bell as well. You'll be notified every time I upload or go live here. Or if you guys want to watch on the Twitch, check the links in the description, hit that Twitch with a follow. But if you guys do want another video to watch, check out this one right here.